All right, what's going on, guys? So, I know you can tell by the title, it's kind of counterintuitive what you would think of what you want while you're trading. Now, profitability, I think, is something that people, I don't want to say over sexualize, but in a way, people do when it comes to learning how to trade and trading in general. Um, Profitability is something that you reach, but it's not a goal that you should keep in mind while you're learning trading. Now, that kind of to some people might not make sense at first, but when you're learning trading, people you give the idea of profitability too much value, and so what ends up happening is you let the wins and you get the losses get to your head because at the end of the day, if you're not green at the end of the week or the end of the month, whatever it is, if you're not green, then in your head you're not profitable and it's going to mess with your psychology. And so you need to stop giving the idea of profitability value in your head, and you have to realize that profitability, it's not something that you should fantasize about. It's really nothing to work towards. You simply are just becoming a better trader, and with that, you'll become profitable. Don't think about, oh, becoming a profitable trader. Don't think about taking this trade so I can be green on the week. Then I could say I'm profitable on the week, whatever it is. Don't think that way. You don't need to think in terms of profitability. You just need to think in terms of getting better. I have a few points here, and one of the most important ones is the profit obsession that traders get. They get obsessed with seeing the money on the screen. They're obsessed with seeing their profits, their account being green on the week, whatever it is, versus actually developing the skill of trading. And so when you're obsessed with getting profits, maybe making a few dollars if you're trading a live account, which you shouldn't be if you're not profitable, um, you really just have to stop giving it value in your head. And so what that means is you're valuing profit more than developing a skill, which is an issue because without skill development, without that being at the forefront of your mind while you're trading, you're never going to be good at trading. You won't develop your skills as much as you could if you were just focused on the right things, but instead you're focused on profits, and that is going to lead you down a bad path in trading. Um, Another point is a is just having a process oriented mindset. And so what that means is, yes, trading is a journey. We all know this. Everybody who becomes a successful trader knows that this is a very long process and is one of the hardest journeys that you will ever go through, because you're basically fighting against every instinct you have as a human. Um, when you think financially, they tell you to stop caring about money that you lose. They tell you not to have FOMO when you're trying to get into trades. Maybe you miss out on some money. You're basically going against everything that you're taught financially as you're growing up and as you mature in the world. And so you're kind of going against everything you've ever been taught about money when you're getting into trading. You can't be emotional when losing money. You can't be emotional when missing out on gains. You can't do any of these things that you're taught. And so this is a journey, not only to develop the skills, but most part of the journey is psychological. It is not learning how to actually trade. Anybody can learn how to spot a fair value gap and enter off of like an inverse or something like that. Anybody can learn that. It's the psychological point that you reach as a trader that allows you to actually become successful. It's not trading, it's not the charts, it's simply your psychology. And so that is one of the biggest things that you have to realize is that stop thinking about it in terms of reaching this dollar amount or getting my account to this amount. You just have to think of it as a process, and knowing that you're never really going to reach the end of your trading journey. There's always more to learn. There's always something that you're missing. There's always something that you can improve. It's a process. It's a journey that everybody goes through when you're learning how to trade, and there's no way around it. You're not going to beat the system. You're not going to get it early. That's not how it works. Get that out of your head. That's only going to mess you up. And so, my next point is thinking about long term success over short term gains. And so, I'm pretty sure everybody's probably heard this in trading before. Um, but like I said, this is a process. And so, when you're thinking about maybe you do get lucky, maybe you have a really good week, you pass this funded account, you think you're the shit. You're like, oh, I just got funded. Yo, I'm gonna quit my job. This that. Guys, I still work a job. I still have my job. There's a couple reasons for that. One is because I really don't do anything else on the weekends. And two, I have no reason to quit that because I do feel like it keeps you grounded and it keeps you humble. You know where you belong. And so this job I was working while I was working this job while I was paying for fucking discords and everything, and I was paying for funded accounts, scraping the money up from my paychecks because I also have a car payment that I could barely pay. And so this job, it reminds me of my humble beginnings truly. And so I still work this job knowing where I come from and being grateful that every day I walk into work now, I'm not thinking, damn, I really got to be here so I can pay my car. Damn, I really got to be here so I can pay my Discord bill at the end of the month. No, I don't. That's not the mindset. I'm grateful that I have that job. I'm grateful that I was even blessed with that to begin with because I know that that's where I come from. And so having that in the back of my head, knowing that this is a journey, and so all the short-term gains that you're going to reach in trading, yeah, you could pass the account. You could end up making a few dollars. You could even get a payout. That doesn't mean that you're good. That doesn't mean that you're profitable. To have that consistently happen is what makes you good, and that's what makes you a profitable trader. Like I said, do not over sexualize that in your brain. Don't give profitability too much value in your head. That is not the way to go. You'll never learn from that. And one of my other points is patience, and you have to accept the randomness of the market. What happens is you become impatient and you start forcing things, and something happens. You don't know why. You lose the account, you blow it, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to give you guys a honestly crazy example. I've told a couple people this before. Not a lot of people know this. The week before, ever since this, I have not had a single red week. The week before I ended up passing my first ever funded, I blew at least one funded account every single day of that week. There was one week on Monday. I bought a funded account that day, blew it that same day, some days even that same hour. Tuesday, I bought another account, lost that. And guys, this is not money that I have to play around with. This is literally every single last dollar that I had. I have this box right here next to my desk where I used to carry all my cash. I took all my cash out of this box, gave it to my parents, and said, "Put this in my account." Um, and I used all my savings that I had so that I can afford to be able to buy new accounts. And what did I do with that? I blew it all, guys. That's really it's a very humbling experience, and that's something that as a trader everybody goes through. I do believe that everyone has their breaking point, and for me, it was that week. There were some days where I blew two accounts in one day. I would blow an account. It would be I would trade pre-market. I would blow the account pre-market before market even opens. I would buy another account, trade the account on market open, lose that too, guys. It was one of the most humbling experiences ever. And in order for you to really make that change psychologically, say to yourself, I'm going to stop playing around. I knew that this is what I had to do for the rest of my life, or nothing else was going to work. School is not working for me. I was never somebody who did good in school. I'm not saying I did bad in school. School was never my thing. Anybody that knows me also knows that. Working a job, I knew that's not for me. The future that I desire for myself, my future family, all these things, I know that working a job is not going to work for me, especially with the long hours, things like that. I knew it wasn't happening. I had one option, and that was trading. And so, even through this blowing accounts, buying a new account, blowing account, buying a new account, blowing it again, even through all that, I knew that there was no other option. So, I had to make the decision in my head to stop what I was doing, take this shit serious, and treat it like a business. Because what I was doing, I was treating it like it was some hobby and something to be played around with. I made the decision to buy one last account. I went with the highest size that you can get, the most expensive plan, and I said, this account, I'm not going to be emotional. I'm going to take one or two trades a day, max. Win or lose, doesn't matter. And I really kept my psychology in check while I was doing this account, and I passed that account that same week. And so going through blowing, it was like almost 10 funded accounts in that one week. And considering the market is only open for five days a week, there was actually one day where I blew three accounts in one day. That entire journey of that week, The very next week, I passed the account. What was the difference? None of my skills developed. It's not like I was back testing 12 hours that day and just decided, oh, wow, now my strategy is really working. No, it was a psychological change that I made in my head that went from me blowing 10 accounts in 1 week to passing my funded account. There was no difference in trading, it was just psychological. You have to realize that in these markets, there's going to be random times. Patience and acceptance of randomness, that is a clear example. That week was completely random for me. You think I was buying those accounts expecting to blow them? No, I was really hoping to pass them. Did I know? That whole week was a random week. I did not know that that would happen. The next week was also random. I went from blowing accounts every day to passing an account. That's random, guys. And so when I say you have to accept the randomness of this game, you really do have to accept it. You have to know that it's a part of the journey and there's no way around it. You're going to experience these things. There's no change that you can make to stop yourself from going through these certain psychological changes. It's always going to happen. There's nothing you can do about not experiencing these things because when you experience that, that is what makes you the trader. I would not be the trader I am today if I didn't go through that honestly terrible time. Guys, I have screenshots of my playlist that I had while I was going through this time. And it's a literally screenshot of my bank account. And I had no cash. Like I said, I took all my cash out. And this is the screenshot. I had $1 to my name. I had $1 to my name. And those of you on Discord, you can't see it right now, but it's going to be uploaded on YouTube and YouTube will see it. I had $1 to my name, guys. That was the last dollar that I had. This was the last funded account I could buy. This was the last of all my money. I wasn't really getting money from work because my car payment was so expensive and my job was barely paying off my car. This was all I had. And so when it comes down to almost a need, you have to desire it so bad that you need it to work out. And you can't really let that mess you up psychologically. When you think about it, oh, this is my last dollar, you're gonna get FOMO. You're gonna be like, oh shit, I don't want to take this. I don't want to risk it. No, you have to just detach yourself from the market. You have to think that you're not a part of the market. The market cannot consume you. This used to happen to me where I would get on the charts, I would start watching, and I would watch it go up and down, up and down, up and down. And over time, me just watching the charts, it would start to consume me. And the difference between a profitable trader, again, don't idolize that, and somebody who's blowing 10 accounts a day or 10 accounts a week is either the market's going to consume you or you're going to observe it and consume what the market shows you. There's a very big difference. And so when you're thinking about detaching yourself from the market, all that means is that you're an observer. You're simply observing the market and taking the information that it's giving you and using that. And that is what's called your edge. When you know how to use your edge in the market, you can execute accordingly. And that is what makes a good trade and a good trader, is having your edge and executing upon that. Other than that, when the market's consuming you, you're thinking every single time it moves up and down, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? Don't try to predict it. I taught this to one of my first students ever, and he had huge success with it. Literally the next day, actually that entire next week, he actually got funded. This is Sir in the Discord for those of you who don't know. His name is Sir, and I taught him the low-hanging fruit concept, and I can go in depth about that later, maybe another time. Um, but when you simply just observe the market and take in the information that it's giving you, you consume the information that's giving you, but don't let the market consume you. You have to understand the difference between that and the whole point of this is that you're not being consumed by the market and it's not messing with your head. The moment that you start trying to predict the market, you're thinking, oh, it just went up. Oh, it's going to hit this level and then go down. You're trying to predict it. The market's already consumed you. You're going to lose that day. I'm sorry. That's how it works. The times where I've made the most progress in my trading journey is when I felt like I was doing the least. When I was passing accounts left and right. I had a $9,000 week. What was I doing? I was maybe on the charts for an hour a day. I would look at the charts, do my top down analysis for the day. I would execute where I thought I was going to go, my draw on liquidity that I marked out pre market. what would I do? I would take my setup. After I take my setup, win or lose, don't matter. Got off, closed the charts, didn't look at it that same day. I made more money that week, and I probably traded a fraction of the time that I was when I was unprofitable. When I was being undisciplined and blowing accounts left and right, I was on the charts for probably 5 hours a day. And that's just blowing accounts left and right. When I was passing accounts, making that $9,000 a week, when I was doing that, I was simply executing. Win or lose, doesn't matter. I would shut off the charts, wouldn't even think about trading again until the very next day. And that's when I made the most progress, is when I was doing the least. And that's one of the biggest things I can tell you guys is, yes, educate yourself as much as possible. When you're beginning, you have to become a little bit obsessed to become a good trader and make progress. To make progress, you have to be a little obsessed at the beginning. When you're getting to that point where you have the concepts down in your head, all that's left is your psychology, you have to stop caring. And that's why the title of this video is Stop Trying to Become Profitable, is because that whole idea in your head, and giving that too much value, is what's messing you up as a trader. And at the end of the day, when you're thinking of that as your idol in trading, you're never going to succeed and you're not going to see progress. When you think about becoming a better trader and just taking good trades, not about money, but about good trades, that is when you will see progress. That's going to be the end of the video. Hope you guys like this. I'll be posting another one here soon. And yeah, like, subscribe, do all that stuff, and I'll see you guys later.